Hello and welcome to the BBZ, brought to you by Black. Hello. It's been a while. A couple of months, I can't exactly remember. I privated all of my episodes, if anyone is wondering where they went, due to some concerns, which you'll hear at the end of the episode. It's good to be back. It definitely is good to be back. And I'm glad to see the turnout. Look at this. We've got at least 8 people in the crowd. So, I'm happy for that. But I have rebranded. I have changed the name and I have changed the game. We are here not to talk about, whatever we talked about previously, but we are here to talk about new issues, world problems, stuff that concerns every person out there. So, to begin this episode, we have the Sudan massacre. Quite a tragic event, and it's still going on. It's really quite. It brings me pain to be able to say this stuff and know that it's true and know that it's actually going on. It truly worries me that stuff like this is going on in the world, and that, the only way I heard about this was through a meme on Instagram. It was the stupidest thing. All I saw was blue in Sudan, and I was like, alright, what's going on? So I look at it, and this is just absolutely terrible. So to start off, what's going on has been going on since pretty much, I guess, April now. But to really get the full story, we have to go back to December of 2018, where the Sudanese people started protesting against their president, Hassan al-Bashir, or Bashir. Essentially, he wasn't a good man, but he resigned on April 11th, which is that's good. But whoever came in after him is even worse. So the reason why they were protesting is because he was raising prices of everyday items such as bread and fuel in order to try and get the economy to boost. But it didn't really work because everybody was like, hey man, like, what the hell? We want to buy bread. We want to buy gasoline. Those are basic items. And so he resigned on April 11th because of mass protesting. But the guy who came in to replace him is even worse. His name is Gen Mohammed Hamdan Hemedi Dagolo. Don't know if I said that right, but I don't really care. This guy is a complete dick. He's basically one of the people who caused the Darfur genocide, which happened back in April 2003, where 3 million people were affected and roughly 400,000 people were killed. It is the first genocide of the 21st century, and it was truly terrible, and I didn't even hear about it until I searched up this Sudan massacre. So he's the commander of the Rapid Support Forces, the RSF, which is currently leading Sudan right now. They're not doing a great job of it. I wouldn't really call it leading. But this RSF is a huge paramilitary group in Sudan, and they've done some bad stuff. They've committed numerous war crimes, such as genocide and numerous other things. I've actually got a list here on Wikipedia pulled up. The RSF killed 100 protesters, injured 500, raped women, and pillaged homes in Khartoum. And that was in 2019. That was 12 days ago. Jesus. And then during the first day of, I don't even know what this is, Eid al-Fitr in Sudan, in early June, there were several reports that the RSF tied bricks of cement to the bodies of dead protesters to make them sink to the bottom of the Nile and never be found. I want everyone listening to just take a moment and just think of how bad this man is. This man, Jean Mohammed Hamdan Hemedi Dagolo. I'm gonna say his full name every time. Terrible man. He's a terrible person. I really and truly despise him, and I've only been looking at his little dossier for about 15 minutes now. So yeah, this man is bad. Let's go back to the Sudan massacre though. So currently there have been 124 killed in Khartoum, which is the capital of Sudan, and it doesn't make any sense because these 124 citizens, they are citizens, free citizens of Sudan, and this militia group run by Gen Mohammed Hamdan Hemedi Dagolo is they're going down and they're just gunning down like crowds of people. There's a video here on the website I'm on. It's kind of scary because you can just see people running and hear gunshots. So like the government is literally shooting their own citizens over in Sudan, and it's pretty terrible. And I don't know why nobody's really done anything about it. Nobody's addressed it. I haven't seen it. Well, I've seen it on the news because I'm looking at the news right now, but it's just, it should be bigger. There should be a bigger response. Like this should be, I would say this should be on the same level as like 9/11, man. This is pretty bad. I don't even know what to say about this. There's like 124 people killed, 700 people have been injured, and this is just in Khartoum where most of the protesting is going on. If you look at Darfur, since the RSF is the one that killed 400,000 people in Darfur, they're still over there. They're still shooting people. They're still killing people, and nobody is reporting on it. Nobody's going over there and taking a look, and it doesn't make any sense. I don't know why Sudan doesn't have other countries supporting it. Like, if I were the Sudanese people, honestly, I wouldn't care if it was the US standing beside me. As long as this militia was being taken out, I would be happy. I would honestly be happy about that. So I think that's, jeez, I don't even know how to transition onto the next topic because that is just so bad. Like, this Sudan massacre is absolutely terrible. I urge all of you to go look it up. I will provide a link in the description so that all of you can just look at this and see just how bad it is. But on to a lighter topic. Alex Jones. Alex Jones, the beautiful man who founded and commanded InfoWars until its death. I don't actually know if it's still going on, but InfoWars, oh my god, I respected that show so much. I respect Alex Jones, actually. I respect him a lot. He's not a very intelligent man. He's not a very well-spoken man, but he is freaking hilarious. The man is hilarious. He said some weird shit out there, and I've got to say this is one of the weirdest ones. He is reporting that. So if all of you remember, a while ago, I don't even know how long it was ago. Let's say 6 months ago, Alex Jones's InfoWars got taken down because an FBI investigation was launched against him because he had child porn on his phone. And people saw that, and they were like, dude, that's kind of weird. So they reported it to the FBI, they started an investigation, and InfoWars was pretty much dusted. It was gone. It was taken off of most most television sites, like I don't even know where InfoWars was streamed. It was taken off of YouTube. His app was taken off of the App Store. Basically, InfoWars was gone. I believe it still existed on a few sites, but for the most part, it was gone. So now, he is saying, and this is a while after this, he's saying he's offering $1 million reward for whoever planted the malware on his phone and infected his phone with child porn. Now, it says here that somebody used malware to infect his phone and plant the child porn. Really and truly, I think the man's a pedophile. Honestly, I think he's just sitting there looking at little kitty porn, and he's just whacking his schmacking, backing his macking every night, you know? And when somebody found out, he was like, no, didn't happen. I didn't whack my chicken for 3 hours last night to this stuff. So I think he's just lying, personally, and you should really read this. It's on the Daily Beast. You just search up Alex Jones offers $1 million, and it'll come up. It's his lawyer get this. His lawyer, Norm Pattis, refers to him as the conspiracy theorist aficionado. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure Norm Pattis is really and truly just a child that he's brainwashed since birth to absolutely adore him. And I'm pretty sure the child porn on his phone is actually just of Norm Pattis when he was younger. It just makes sense. I mean, you can make the connections right there just by looking at it. Like, I might even send in an anonymous tip to the FBI just saying, like, yo, Norm Pattis, he was the kid in those child porn videos on Alex Jones's phone. And so it also says here that there's a big long quote. I'll read it in a second, but it says here that he initially offered $100,000, and then he said, "I don't have a lot of money, but I'll sell my house," and bumped it up to $1 million. Who in their right mind sells their house to get $1 million together in order to get someone else to gather proof that he has malware? That he has malware on his phone, sending child porn on his phone. Like, that just doesn't make sense. And it even reinforces the idea that Norm Pattis is really and truly the child in his child sex porn scandal. So, time to read out this quote. This is a long quote. He said, in a 5-minute rant, he said, "You're trying to set me up with child porn. I'm going to get your ass. $1 million. $1 million, you little gang member. $1 million to put your head on a pike. $1 million, bitch," Jones shouted, adding, "You're not going to ever defeat Texas, you sacks of shit." I don't know what Texas has to do with any of it. I'm thinking that in reality, Alex Jones is actually the state of Texas, and that's why Norm Pattis likes him so much. I don't know if you've ever met anybody from Texas, but they're very fond of their state. So I'm pretty sure Alex Jones is referring to himself when he says, "You're not going to ever defeat Texas, you sacks of shit." Because I'm almost certain Alex Jones is not only immortal, but he's just undefeatable. And when he says you're not going to defeat Texas, he's just referring to himself. It makes sense, you know, the entire state of Texas would be Alex Jones. This man here, I'm pretty sure, is just a hallucination that all of us are uniformly experiencing, caused by Alex Jones himself. As I said, he was immortal. He's probably got some sort of powers, and he's just putting us all under this spell. You know, I believe some of his theories. Because I do think Alex Jones is a god. Honest to God, I think he is one of two gods, the other being God. So that's all. I'm sorry. That's all I have to say about Alex Jones. So the time has come. Not the end of the episode, but something much greater. Something all of you, well, a good portion of you, already know. It is the story of why I stopped recording the other podcast, went MIA for a couple of months, and now I'm back. So let's start it off with a big disclaimer. I am not racist. I am probably the least racist person you'll ever meet. And I mean that in a genuine sense. A good friend of mine, we're having a discussion the other day about this fact, and he mentioned that, like, he brought up a good point, that our friend group is colorblind, in that we don't see color, rather we just see people. Just people. And I guess that's the end of the disclaimer there. Pretty big disclaimer, I know, 20 seconds. So, let's start it off. It was a pretty nice day, actually. I was sitting in Vanmore, and sitting in a good friend of mine's car. Not the same friend, but a different one. And two individuals walked by. One of them was very white. The other one was very black. I thought I recognized the black one. So I called out, "Hey!" And, well, you can guess what I said. And immediately they stopped and turned. The white guy was, well, he seemed angrier than the other one. And he immediately came up and he was like, "What are you doing? Why did you say the N-word? That's not cool, bro." And I was kind of like, okay. And they then asked if I was from Abe, and me, being a very, very fried ass individual, said yes. So they said, "We'll see you in an hour." And, well, an hour passed by, and they were there. But it wasn't just two, it was, well, I don't even know how many, 7 to 9. I was too fried to understand, or to understand. So we try, well, I don't try, but others try, getting them out of there, just being like, "He's not here." And I got out of the car because I thought Rich Mitch was there, and he wasn't. And when I noticed, I was like, "Oh, that's an L." So I ducked down a bit so they couldn't see me, but they caught me. And immediately when they saw me, they just pretty much started swinging. And since there was a group of them, I just immediately decided I'm not gonna fight. Like, I'm not gonna fight them. Even if there was one, would I have fought? Most likely not. I'm not that kind of person. I don't like fighting. I don't like getting into violence. And so I just pretty much tried to run away, but it didn't work. They caught up with me. I tripped, obviously, because fried people. Have you ever seen a fried person try to run? It's not pretty. And so they do a number on me, but what I was kind of most pissed off about was what happened to my friend's car. Yeah, I basically got into his car to get away, and the one guy picked up a pretty big rock and threw it on his car, on his hood. It dented the crap out of his hood, and that was probably what I was most PO'd about. Just because, it was my mistake. Why should anybody else have to pay for it? And so I didn't like that one bit. And so I basically spent the rest of the day at the hospital just waiting, honestly. I waited for 4 hours or something, 4 or 5 hours, and I was fine. I got hit in the head probably 9 times, and then stomped on the head probably 9 times, and I was completely fine. I walked out of there like nothing really happened. Bit of bruising, but other than that, I was completely fine. I'm really grateful for that, but here comes the funny part. So they try. I'm not gonna explain all the beef that happened afterwards. If you know, you know. If you don't, ask someone. It's pretty known what happened afterwards, because they tried to beef us again a couple of different times. I think it was 2 or 3 occasions they tried to beef us, and I forget who, but somebody found out who they were, and it was this is the funniest thing. They're part of a rap group called CYS, and it's just the worst thing you'll ever hear. I honestly, I urge you to go look it up on YouTube. I don't even know. Let's look at this. Last time we checked, it was 100,000 views. Yeah, if you just search up CYS, it comes up in autocorrect. We the best. Oh my god, it's so terrible. I tried finding them. I cut it out because it took me about 10 minutes. I honestly, I haven't tried finding them before because I really just don't care anymore. It's trash. It's absolutely terrible. They open it up with a line that will never get out of my head just because it's so funny. They started off with CYS, we the best. And it's kind of it's become iconic because it's just the music quality, the lyrics, they aren't even bars, they're just words. Everything is so low quality, and the music video, if you ever look at it, it's pretty much just them committing crimes, and I don't know how they haven't been arrested or prosecuted just from that video. Not 100% sure, but I'm pretty darn sure at least a few of them were expelled from whatever school they go to. I'm not gonna divulge that information, but at this point I don't care. It was a while ago. I don't think anybody cares anymore, but it was a stupid thing that happened. I paid for it, unfortunately. Someone else had to do. but I'm just glad I walked away without any injuries, and I'm glad nobody else got hurt. So, with that, I think we're gonna end this episode here. We've got a solid 25 minutes of just talking, and I'm glad to be back. This is BZ signing off from the BBZ Network.